Hello everyone, welcome to CNA, the daily newspaper analysis. Today we have got the following contents, so let's discuss. The first one being camping against malnutrition. So when I say about malnutrition, we know that this various campaigns against malnutrition, which is directly some of the findings that we have directly made, that in our country the malnutrition conditions are at very high rates. So if I say about the basic term of malnutrition, malnutrition is the condition that develops when the body is deprived of vitamins, minerals, as well as other nutrients, and it needs to maintain healthy tissues and organ functions. So malnutrition occurs in people who are either undernourished or overnourished. So therefore, government in its respective findings under NFHS 5, National Family Health Survey, we know or we have directly recorded our data on stunted children. In this respective data, we have seen Meghalaya has the highest number of stunted children, amounting to around 46.5%, which is followed by Bihar around 42.9%. Maharashtra has also some around 25.6% wasted children who are directly weight for height, and the highest followed for Gujarat around 25.1%. So in these respective categories, we have seen that even in some of the areas or amongst the NFHS 4 as well as 5, we see that the total fertility rates, that is an average number of children per woman, has declined from 2.2 to 2.0. So the overall contraceptive prevalence rate, that is the CPR, has increased substantially from 54 to 67% in the country. We have also increased the institutional births substantially from 79 to 89%. And therefore, the stunting has reduced from 38.4% to around 35.5%. So therefore, we have seen that women directly in the category of 15 to 49 years of age, the women who have attained maturity and till menopause, whose BMI, that is the body mass index, is below normal, has reduced drastically from NFHS 4 report to the NFHS 5 report. And that I could directly say about 22.9 NFHS 4 में था और अभी फिलहाल 18.7%. So therefore, we can see that the very malnutrition cases, okay, India directly aims at reducing this number of stunting as well as undernutrition amongst the people below the age of 6 years by 2% every year. Okay, because we have seen that amongst the girls, the anemia rate is very much of higher between the age group of 6 and 59 months. Okay, as well as also some of the women's or adolescent girls between 15 to 49 years of age. Okay, so hence we could see that we have went upon for various number of initiatives, such as be the Poshan Abhiyan. Okay, Poshan Abhiyans, that is a malnutrition free India by 2022. Also, we are directly going with for a program of Anemia Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. We have also got the midday meal schemes so as to make an impact on various number of minerals as well as vitamins that a respective child consumes. Also, we are very much focused to provide food security under the NFSA 2013. We even went for the Pradhan Mantri Matru Bandhana Yojana, where 6,000 rupees is directly transferred to the bank accounts of the pregnant women for availing better facilities for the delivery. Even we directly went for the ICDS, Integrated Child Development Services, which aims at providing food, preschool education, primary healthcare, immunization, health checkups, etc. So therefore, today, if we have a good financial commitments, if we directly move towards or adopt an outcome-oriented approach on nutrition programs, if we directly render basic education and general awareness, and also with some of the good monitoring and evaluation process, we could directly tackle the various challenges associated with malnutrition. तो इसीलिए अभी मन की बात में PM urges people to join campaign against the malnutrition, which is totally can be seen very much involved in our country, and which directly says about the less number of vitamins, minerals, and various other nutrients that a body, that a healthy tissue directly wants to function the respective organs of a human body. Okay, so ये था about the campaign against malnutrition. Next पे आते हैं, financial inclusion, spark growth. तो यहाँ पे recently our finance minister, she shared about that the financial inclusion will spur the growth and it will directly help make the development of a country in some of the four periods. Okay, so today if you see about the financial inclusion, okay, financial inclusion is a very must in a country like India, where we have hardly seen such number of inclusion in some of the grassroots level. Okay, so if I define about the financial inclusion, तो यहाँ पे क्या बोल सकते हैं हम? Financial inclusion may be defined as the process of ensuring access to financial services, timely and adequate credit, which are needed by some of the vulnerable groups, such as weaker sections, and also the peoples belonging to the low income groups at an affordable cost. Also, if you see in a diverse country like us, financial inclusion plays a critical part of the developmental process. And since independence also, we have seen there are various number of combined efforts done by various governments, regulatory institutions, civil society, which have helped increasingly the financial inclusion net in the country. So the state of financial inclusion has improved considerably over time. And however, the financial inclusion, okay, however, we can see about the financial inclusion has not reached the poorest of the poor, as there exist various number of bottlenecks and challenges which needs to take an immediate action upon such. Because today, if you see about the financial inclusions, okay, the first one, supposedly the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, which directly says about 46 crore banks account deposit balance of itna, semi-rural urban mein itna, rural mein itna. Okay, so today, if you say about the Jan Dhar Aadhaar mobile, JAM, the combination of Aadhaar, the combination of even the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and a surge in mobile communication has reshaped the way citizens access government services today. And we could see that as far as estimate, in March 2020, the total number of beneficiaries under the Jan Dhan scheme has reached up till 380 million. So the government today has launched various programs to empower the poor and unbanked in the respective country of India. So today, ये तो है ही, उसके बाद स्टैंड अप इंडिया स्कीम है, प्रधानमंत्री जीवन ज्योति बीमा योजना है, प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षा बीमा योजना है, अटल पेंशन योजना है. तो ये सब क्या है? These are all a part of financial inclusion. Today, if I see about the Reserve Bank of India and NABARD, that is the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, they have taken initiatives to promote what? Financial inclusions in the rural areas. Supposedly issuing the Kisan credit card, linkage of the self-help groups with the banks, increasing the number of automated teller machines, ATMs. Also, business correspondence models of banking, etc., are being very much promoted by the RBI as well as the NABARD in some rural as well as semi-urban areas. And with the strengthening of the UPI, that is the United Payment Interface, by NPCI, digital payments have been made more secure compared to the past. Okay, but because we in our country has got a very less literacy, so therefore the Reserve Bank of India has undertaken a project titled Project Financial Literacy. And the very objective of this financial literacy is regarding the central bank and general banking concepts to various target groups, such as the children, women's, rural and urban poor, defense personnel, and even to the senior citizens. Okay, so we could see that though this financial inclusion is a very Herculean task to do or to be very much seen in our country, we still have got various number of success stories. Okay, so according to even the World Bank's Global Financial Inclusion Database, okay, 80% of Indian adults have a bank account against 53 estimated in 2014. तो ये क्या है? Success हम लोग का किसका है? Financial inclusion का, government initiatives का. Okay, today if you see about the integration of financial services, that is the convergence of JAM Trinity with the direct benefit trust fund, that is the DBT, this has been largely been successful in our country, because due to this there has been a significant improvement in terms of targeted and accurate payments. Okay, though we have got various challenges associated कि यहाँ पे digital divide है, we can see about non-universal access to bank accounts, we can see about the cash dominated economy, we have seen about gender gaps in financial inclusions, we have seen about lack of credit penetrations. but still over here reviving the banking correspondent model to such number of areas and going for more and more number of financial inclusion alongside the jam. Okay, we directly has to promote the facilities in leveraging differential payments. So for the success of financial inclusion in India, there has to be a multidimensional approach through which existing digital platforms, be it infrastructures, be it human resources, and policy frameworks, are strengthened and should be technologized by some of the new innovations, be it through the IoT, that is the Internet of Things, or be it through various number of technological advancements. So today, if the government is directly taking some of the adequate measures, so the existing problems could be easily tidied away. And inclusion has the potential to amplify the benefits of the economic conditions of the poor, which ultimately will lead to the economical growth of this respective nation. Okay, so therefore we are even much ahead because हम लोग ने बहुत ज़्यादा तरक्की कर लिया already. So today even this finance minister is directly saying about such number of more inclusions today in our society, because we have not yet achieved some of the 10% of such number of inclusions which you can see in our society. Okay, so ये था about financial inclusion. आता है self reliance by indigenization. Okay, today you could see that in line with the efforts to promote the self-reliance with the defense manufacturing as well as some of the minimized imports by the defense public sector undertakings. Okay, क्योंकि हम लोग का जो DPSU है यही क्या करते हैं, ये directly trade करते हैं to the outside world. Okay, in terms of getting through the imports. So today you can see about that recently defense minister, that is Rajnath Singh ji, okay, he approved the third positive indigenization links, that is the PIL. Okay, यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है. He directly approved the third positive indigenization list of 780 strategically important line replacement units. Okay, और ये खाली line replacement units means it's the same thing. Supposedly आज किसी को कुछ चीज को हम लोग को ठीक करना है. Okay, so we still rely on some of the other countries from where we have procured such number of items for the replacement of such number of units. तो ये जो units है जो replace करना चाहिए because of wear and tear, तो ये हम लोग खुद प्रोड्यूस करेंगे इन आवर रिस्पेक्टिव कंट्री. ओके, सो एलआरयू के साथ वी कैन इवन सी सम ऑफ द सब सिस्टम्स एज वेल एज वेरियस कंपोनेंट्स जो कि एक रेस्पेक्टिव फैसिलिटी में चाहिए होता है. ओके, सो देयरफॉर इवन यू कैन सी दैट अराउंड एवरी रेस्पेक्टिव एलिमेंट्स द मेक इन इंडिया कैटेगरी or the Make in India campaign is a major boost over here, because even the ministry directly explained about the indigenization of these items will directly take the Make in India category to some of the higher heights by involving greater participation of Indian industries and various number of projects involving design and development of equipments, major systems, major platforms that will directly upgrade the industries to some of the higher foot. And the indigenous development will not only make us less dependent on the imports, but it will also help to harness the design capabilities of domestic defense industry and position of India as a design leader in this technology. तो ये भी हम लोग का एक बढ़िया सा एम है. So today we could see about that there is a growing trend or there is a growing reliance of all these respective three forces that we India have. There is a respective coordination जिसके लिए हम लोग ने CDS को लाए थे. So because of the coordination among these three, because every armed forces needs their respective equipments as well as various number of respective elements for their respective sustenance. और ये जितना भी sustenance, जिसका भी जितना भी demand है, this demand needs to be equipped or this demands needs to be met so that we could boost our respective defense technology within the respective country, and which could lead to more number of modernization and can also make the country's youth getting employed in various number of technological elements. तो कल परसों हम मार्केट करके we could boost our economy by making or by exporting various number of defense equipments to some of the neighboring countries or which are less developed countries. Okay, so therefore we need to boost much more on the self-reliance, and therefore our Rajnath Singh ji, that is our defense minister, directly released this 780 strategically important line inflection units that is directly procured from the domestic industries. Okay, next पे आते हैं coin switch. Coin switch क्या है? It's basically respective क्या बोलते हैं इसको, Platform exchange, cryptocurrency. Okay, so we have seen about that CoinSwitch, largest cryptocurrency company in India, valued at $1.9 billion, has more than 18 million registered users. Okay, so इनके जो CEO है, okay, that is आशीष सिंघाल, okay, उन्होंने बोले थे कि like there is not much events, और यहाँ पे उनको like without knowing him, he does not wants to involve the people of India in any form of crime associated with cybercrime. So therefore, he directly released, or he directly made his very will that he is very much cooperating fully with the Directorate of Enforcement with respective to the functioning of the crypto platform that he uses. Okay, because single statements of this respective elements came just after the Enforcement Directorate carried out searches at 5 locations, which is directly linked to the CoinSwitch Kuber in Bengaluru. Okay, so the Financial Crimes Investigating Agency actions also comes amid a probe in at least 10 crypto exchanges in the instant micro loan app case. So therefore, in this category, we could see that he directly said that we will directly, or I will directly support every actions that has been taken by the respective group. Okay, because no such type of criminal mindset ideology would be encouraged, and hence the digital lending through mobile applications, which was directly making a good concern because of the unsupervised growth of the loan platforms in India. Okay, so every particular people or every particular countryman is at risk. And cryptos do not have a dedicated regulatory framework in the country, which has created a confusion for the nascent industry of cryptocurrency. Okay, so crypto, though it's a new asset class, but being in these early stages, cryptos are not yet clearly classified in most of the parts of the world, not even in India. Okay, because now the law in India is still assessing if crypto is a commodity security, currency, or something new. So this is directly what? A work in progress. So hence we cannot directly make this respective industries because we do not have got any particular regulation associated with the cryptocurrency. Okay, since अभी इन लोग ने cooperation का बात बोला है, तो therefore the cryptocurrency is directly new. इसके related जो blockchain technology है, वो थोड़ा बहुत तुम लोग यहाँ पे देख सकते हो, which is very much relevant with respect to cryptocurrency. चलो next पे आते हैं. Single brand to help cut fertilizer costs. इसमें क्या है? इसमें बस वही बोल रहा है कि there should be one nation, one fertilizer. Okay, because we can see that the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers recently announced that it has been decided to implement this ONOF by introducing a single brand for fertilizers and logo under the fertilizer subsidy scheme named Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janurvak Pariyojana. Okay, so in this respective category, we could see that the single brand name, supposedly मैं अगर brand का नाम बोल लूँ यूरिया, okay, supposedly मैं अगर बोल लूँ डायमोनियम फॉस्फेट, अगर मैं बोलूं नाइट्रोजन फॉस्फोरस पोटेशियम, तो इसको क्या बोलेंगे? इसको बोलेंगे भारत यूरिया, ठीक है, भारत डीएपी, दैट इज भारत डायमोनियम फॉस्फेट. ओके, उसके बाद भारत एनपीके, नाइट्रोजन फॉस्फोरस पोटेशियम. ओके, तो ऐसे ऐसे नाम करेंगे. सेम, वन नेशन वन फर्टिलाइजर. Okay, and this scheme directly applies to both the public as well as private sector companies producing such number of fertilizers. And this will bring what? This will bring directly an uniformity in fertilizer brands across country. Okay, so ये एक respective thing है about the to cut the fertilizer cost, because though we have got various number of associated challenges, supposedly it will directly disincentivize the fertilizers company from undertaking marketing and brand promotion activities. Okay, also we could see that they may be passed on fully to the government, so the whole load directly will again come up to the government. So though we have got challenges, but it is to strengthen or to cut cost the fertilizer that for which the farmers are directly procuring, because we know that the production and distribution process would be redrawn as the companies would not have to transport their products beyond 500 kilometers on average. And farmers today would not be confused to choose the brand, because it will encourage capturing the local market by selling fertilizers by companies and would lead to timely availability of fertilizers to the farmers. So agar ye same brand ka ho jaye, then it will be also been available, or it would also be helpful for the respective farmers to directly take the place or to directly choose the respective fertilizers that they directly want to do to make their crops give some of the good output in the respective season of time. ये एक बात था about one nation one fertilizers. लास्ट में आते हैं जापान कंटिन्यूइंग स्ट्रगल विद जेंडर पैरिटी. ये क्यों न्यूज में है? because with the target of transforming India into a developed country by 2047, जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इंडिपेंडेंस डे स्पीच में बताए थे, there are some lessons we should directly learn from Japan regarding gender parity. Because today we can see about an issue happening in Japan. Like there is a recent data in Japan that Japan recorded the lowest total births in 2021 at just about 8,10,000. And Japan ranked abysmally low amongst 146 countries. It directly came into the category of around 116 amongst the developed countries I'm telling about. Okay, in the global gender gaps parity index. And this makes Japan the worst performer amongst the G7 group and lowest among the developed countries. Because we know that Japan, in educational system, Japan has got a higher score on gender equality in education attainment, even in health and survival of women, including health life expectancy, nearly perfect. Leadership, Japan ranks below 140 when it comes to women in parliament. Also, we know about women holds a mere 10% of the Japan's parliamentary seats. We also say about Japan has not had a female head of the state in the past 50 years. And today we can see about Japanese women earn about 57% of that men, making their wage gap one of the worst amongst the OECD countries. So therefore, if I see about the social mindset towards women in general, it may be some of the sexist remarks. Also, Japan में एक particular ideology, एक particular thinking है about women to be birth-giving machines. Because in political speeches, women have been referred to as birth-giving machines and were told to bear at least 3 children. तो ऐसे बात बोला जाता है कहाँ पे जापान में. Rigging the scores also. A few years ago, medical schools in Japan were reported to have rigged the entrance examination scores of a female candidate, as women stands to leave profession later in life due to marriage and child-bearing responsibilities. Also, वहाँ पे socio-cultural जो norms है, Japanese society conforms to a very strong gender norms of what men and women should do. It is common to refer as one's wife as kanai, that is the one inside the house. तो वहाँ पे जो women's है उनको क्या बोलते हैं? kanai, KANAI, मतलब the one who should be inside the house. तो ये जो consequences है of this widening gender gaps, इसमें क्या होता है? इसमें decline in marriage rates होता है, decline in fertility rates होता है, child bearing is considered as a burden होता है, fall in consumption and investment, decline in workforce, increased pension burden, suppresses domestic demand. Because today, if you see, in Japan, the marriage rates have fallen by 50% since 1970, and fertility rates has fallen to 1.3 children per woman in 2021. So today, the Japan as a government, Japan as a country is directly focusing much more on various number of efforts, such as womenomics. Okay, like womenomics is a very term given by late Prime Minister or former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, as one of his key policy measures to revive the stagnant Japanese economy, which aimed at boosting female labor participation and increasing the percentage of women in leadership position by around 30% by 2020. So therefore, Japan's such number of things is a very eye-opener for a country like India, where also we can see various number of gender gaps, various number of gender parities. So Japan's struggle with gender parity teaches us that investing in women's education and health may have limited impact in the society, is trapped in gender norms that restricts the women from capitalizing these investments. So policymakers of India must take a note of such evidences, as this can trap us into another economic problems as we chalk out our path for a developed India by 2040. Okay, तो इसी का एक लो एनालिसिस है about the Japan's increasing struggle with gender parity and their respective attribute today of going for womenomics. Okay, so this was an editorial analysis today. Okay, so we have got 5 questions, so you could directly attempt this. Answers will be directly uploaded in the Telegram channel. Okay, one main question is there. Chalo, see you tomorrow with the same type of analysis. Thank you and Jai Hind.